Uh-oh, cover your eyes, guys. In Florida, there was a forced resignation of a principal in a school because of the sculpture of David by the radical leftist Renaissance sculptor Michelangelo. We must cancel Michelangelo. He is ruining our society with naked David, which is supposed to be a religious symbol, but we can't. Well, wait, we can't have kids looking at David. Okay, no matter what. Okay, he's not well endowed, but we still can't show that. So this forced resignation, I'm being obviously kind of a jerk about it because it's so stupid that we have to be in 2023 looking at Renaissance sculptures, some of the most iconic and important pieces of art in the history of mankind, and say, we can't show this to children. There's a wiener. David has nuts. The same thing that could be said, I don't remember, there are, I'm thinking back to my art history class, college. You know, we look back at some of the oldest sculptures from ancient times, basically. I don't want to misquote or assign which culture I'm thinking of because it's just going to be stupid. But, there are sculptures of naked men and naked women. It's important pieces of history. It is not implying sexuality because they're naked. The statue of David is not real. It is not a real man. This is the type of nonsense where you get these folks claiming there is implied nudity, there is implied pornography, as we've talked about with the book bans in my alma mater. And we'll talk about my alma mater in a second, too. This is quite literally political correctness and cancel culture gone amok. And it is not the left. It is not progressives. It is where it usually comes from, all the way back when they tried to ban Dungeons and Dragons, and ever since, the fundamentalist right wing. Now, again, if you were somebody that has a connection to this Renaissance era. I mean, I went to the Museum of Art in Philadelphia, and I was blown away by the religious pictures and the paintings and all this stuff. Even though I'm not personally religious, I am agnostic, right? I went to the church last week and looking at the architecture and the stained glass of Jesus and the listening to people reciting the Beatitudes. And like, people don't even know what that is, probably. I know because I grew up Catholic. But these things are art, and they're connected to our world, whether we believe in certain things or not. Art is art, and it is okay for children to live. I mean, I don't believe that there should be religious teachings in public schools. However, depictions, I saw it as a kid. I went to a private school when I was in kindergarten through 5th grade. I went to a Catholic school. And there are depictions of when I was a kid, might sound crazy to some people. When I was a kid, The Passion of the Christ came out, and I was dead set on seeing that movie. I wanted to be a priest. I wanted to see that movie with my grandma, and I begged her to take me. And I didn't get to see that movie because of the violence, but I did see depictions of, Jesus being, crucified. And I saw pictures, paintings and all this different stuff covered in blood and, having the crown of thorns and all this stuff, right? These things are not the same. Well, here, loop it back to the beginning. What is worse? A child seeing the statue of David or being in the vicinity of a mass shooting? What is worse? A child being at a drag show? Or I'll even put it this way. How many drag shows are responsible for children's death? 0. Guns, firearms are the leading cause of death for children. I cannot fathom what goes on in someone's mind to think that Michelangelo's David, and maybe it's because Michelangelo, when I took art history, and I was my 4th grade Renaissance man, believe it or not. The Renaissance period and the Florence, Italy, and all these things, they have a certain resonance with me. So seeing, and I've never gotten to see David, I've never gotten to see the statue, whatever, maybe someday, but it's important to see these monumental things in our textbooks and in slideshows, and the focus on nudity and all this stuff. It seems so obscure in 2023. I don't understand how we're trying to basically cancel people over field trips and pictures of David, where we have classrooms that have like folding mechanisms that make sure that you can trap a shooter into it, and you have buckets. As I saw, I don't know how real this is, but on TikTok, you have schools now providing teachers with buckets with toilet paper and all this stuff in case they can lock themselves in, and if there's no bathroom in there, kids can use that and be like, that's the type of insanity we're dealing with. We have unironic people saying that they want, Kevlar backpacks, but God forbid if we let a 12-year-old see the statue of David. We're doomed. We're doomed.